Welcome to our channel. If you haven't done it already, please subscribe.
Superman, Chemo Attacks, featuring Supergirl. Lex Luthor stood in a laboratory in the LexCorp building. He had been checking on Chemo, the giant garbage-dissolving creature he had ordered his scientists to create. But now, Lex was distracted. He was frowning up at a big TV screen. A reporter was saying that Superman and Supergirl had, once again, saved the day. Lex growled angrily. The head scientist glanced at Lex nervously. Phase 1 is a success. As you see, sir, the acid inside Chemo is very strong. It dissolves whatever the creature consumes. Lex turned back to her. Good, he said. But there are several problems, she continued. When Chemo absorbs things, he grows larger. In Phase 2, we must learn to limit Chemo's growth. And before we can use him, we must find a way to neutralize the chemicals inside him. If his shell were to be damaged, the acids would leak out and destroy whatever they touched. Don't worry, Lex said. If there's a problem, I'm sure Superman will be around to fix it. That evening, Lex secretly returned to the lab. He was carrying a rock that glowed with green energy. Eat it, he told Chemo. Chemo shoved the rock into his mouth. As the rock dissolved, the creature began to glow. Lex smiled. Finally, he had found a way to destroy Superman. Lex pointed. Eat that wall, he said. When you are outside, you will eat everything you see. Chemo grabbed a chunk of wall and shoved it into his mouth. When the hole in the wall was big enough, he stepped out into the city. The sidewalks were crowded with people hurrying home from work. Chemo spotted a car. When he grabbed it, the people around him screamed and ran. Clark Kent was working at the Daily Planet when his super hearing picked up screaming. He raced to the roof at super speed, changing to Superman as he ran. Then he leaped into the sky and looked around with supervision. He was amazed at what he saw, a giant green monster eating a taxi. Where had it come from? Superman saw that the monster was filled with things, and they were slowly dissolving. As they melted away, the monster grew even larger. When the glowing green menace reached for a water tower, a red and blue blur zipped past Superman. It was his cousin, Supergirl. Wait, keep back, Superman cried, but it was too late. Pow! Supergirl slammed into the monster's stomach and bounced off. Green slime sprayed from the monster's mouth and splashed on Supergirl. Ow! She cried. Suddenly, she felt weak. Then she began to fall from the sky. Superman caught her and dived for a fountain. Its water splashed on her skin, washing away the toxic slime. But I'm invulnerable, she said. It shouldn't have burned me. That monster's slime is laced with deadly kryptonite, Superman said as he leaped into the air. Keep away from it. No way, Supergirl said as she flew after him. You won't keep away, and kryptonite is just as dangerous to you. Besides, we don't need to get close to stop it. Heat rays burst from Supergirl's eyes and hit Chemo. A hole appeared in his chest. Green acid burst from the hole. It splashed onto the buildings and down onto the street, destroying everything it touched. Chemo bubbled with anger. Oh no, Supergirl said. That didn't stop him. It just made him more dangerous. Superman flew in front of Chemo. He blasted Chemo with freeze breath. An ice plug formed in the hole, and the toxic drip stopped. Chemo gurgled again. He tried to grab Superman, but he missed. Then he scooped up an entire rooftop restaurant and shoved it into his open mouth. That monster is a walking toxic waste dump, Superman said, and he keeps getting bigger. How much more can his skin stretch? If it starts to leak again, or worse, explodes, it could destroy the city. I know, Supergirl said. We have to get it away from here, but how? That ice plug gave me an idea, Superman said. It will be dangerous. We'll have to move at super speed and work together, but it's the only way to stop this monster. Quickly, Superman told her his plan. Chemo was reaching for the globe on top of the Daily Planet building when Superman flew at him. Chemo roared angrily, and Superman flew into the monster's open mouth. Lex Luthor watched from his office in the LexCorp building as Superman sank into Chemo's body. "I've done it," he cheered. "Finally, I've destroyed Superman." Suddenly, Lex stepped away from the window. Chemo had left the Daily Planet building. He was chasing Supergirl and was coming right at LexCorp. "Oh no!" Lex shouted. "Superman, stop him!" Superman began to feel weak. He knew he had to hurry. He blasted Chemo with freeze breath, and the toxic slime inside of Chemo turned to ice. Supergirl watched, feeling helpless. She knew the kryptonite acid was burning Superman, and, in time, it could kill him. She wanted to help, but knew she had to wait. "At least I've gotten that monster away from the Daily Planet building," she thought. Chemo slowed, then he stopped. His insides had frozen into solid ice, and Superman was trapped inside of him. With a last great effort, Superman tried to fly upward, but the kryptonite had made him too weak. He could barely get the ice-filled Chemo to move. Chemo started to topple, but Supergirl was there to stop his fall. She grabbed the frozen giant and towed him up into the sky. "I have to hurry," she thought. "I have to fly as fast as I can." Straight up into the air, she soared at super speed, faster and faster away from Metropolis. As she flew toward space, Supergirl listened with her super hearing. Superman's heartbeat was getting slower and weaker. "It's kryptonite poisoning," she thought. "It's hurting him." Supergirl was feeling weaker too, just from touching outside of the monster. She knew it was much worse for her cousin, who was inside the creature. When they were in space beyond the moon, Supergirl let go of Chemo. All around them was an icy vacuum. She let the monster float away, knowing that as long as he stayed in space, he would remain frozen and harmless. "I've done what Superman told me to do," she thought. "Now I have to save him." She began to spin at super speed. Then Supergirl flew toward Chemo's body, aiming straight at Superman. She drilled through the toxic ice, grabbed her cousin, and burst out the giant's back, with Superman's body in her arms. Superman was unconscious and she was weak, but she had enough strength left to fly them both into the sunlight. "Please," she thought, "please, please, be okay." The rays of Earth's yellow sun struck Superman and Supergirl. At once, she could feel her strength returning. After a few minutes, Superman stirred in her arms and opened his eyes. She smiled at him. His plan had worked. Together, they had saved Metropolis. Lex Luthor was speaking to reporters. "Chemo was an experiment, a garbage-dissolving being. I don't know what sent him on that rampage. But Superman fought valiantly and will always be remembered as a hero." "Sorry to disappoint you," Superman said. Lex gaped at Superman and Supergirl. "You're alive, but the kryptonite!" he gasped. Superman hauled Lex into the air. "You can tell the police how you knew about the kryptonite. You're going to spend a long time in jail."
Thank you for watching our videos. If you haven't done it already, please subscribe. Here are some videos we thought you might like.